Hi, it's Veronica with the Crafty Oasis. Today I wanted to go over a client intake form and how to create one in Google Forms with a linked Google Sheet. So I'm a firm believer in systems and processes, and I think the earlier that you can create these in your business, especially micro and small businesses, the better off your client and customer experience will be. So we'll go ahead and create this in Google. So I'm going to log into Google Drive and I'll see you there for the tutorial. Once you are in Google Drive, you will go to the left where it says New and select that. From there, we will go to Form, and so you'll scroll down to Google Forms, select the arrow, and then blank form. There are templates, and you can review those and see if you'd like any. I like to start from scratch. So we're going to title the form. This form has a little bit of a long title, and again, you can make it as short or as long as you need to. This is for business, but you can create a form for personal use. I created one once, several, when I was a team mom a few years ago for my son's baseball team, and it came in very helpful because you can have different multiple choice questions and things like that you'll see in just a couple minutes. And then I do put a form description, so that way it just gives it a little bit more, gives the client a little bit more of an idea of why they're filling this form out. Hopefully it puts them at ease and helps them gain understanding. Now we are going to add and customize the questions. So I'm putting name, and these are short answer: name, email, phone number. You can set up the settings where you have collect emails by default, but if you do that, they're required to log in, and I don't like making people log in if they don't have to. Again, personal preference. You can do it however you prefer. And so to add more questions, you go to the right and select the plus sign, and then from there you can choose what type of question, whether it is a short answer, a multiple choice, drop down, checkbox, a date, things of that nature. And then also you'll want to toggle on the required to make sure that every question that is required for your form is on, so that that person cannot proceed without answering that question. And so when you see that red asterisk near name, email, phone number, that indicates that it's a required question. So you don't have to make all of the questions required. It's really up to you and the flow of your form. And in any of the questions, you can attach a link. So let's say maybe one was a payment link that you wanted to include, so you could send a link to your payment processor, or a link to a PDF, or something else that's applicable to your form. You do have that option as well when you are creating each individual question. Okay, now that we've got the question set up, we're going to customize the theme. So we're clicking on the paint palette on the right hand side, and then you can scroll down and see what kind of fonts best match your brand. The fonts in Google Forms are somewhat limited, so just do the best that you can. And then you can change the font if you want for the headings, for the question and the answers, or you can keep them all the same. It's up to you, but it does help to keep that brand continuity if you can match the fonts, or if you could get them close. Now that we have the fonts changed, we're going to go down with the paint theme still selected and select header, choose image, and so we're going to open up our image, find that, and bring it into Google Forms, and then you can crop or resize it if you need to. My computer didn't show that part of the screen recording, but it will appear there in the background. Next, you can go ahead and customize the color of the form as well, so it matches your brand more closely also. And so you'll notice that I'm doing that. I am changing the background color, and I'm also going to change the font color by selecting the font that I want to change, and then making sure that I select the A with the underline, and that will bring up this color palette for you, and you can change it to whichever color you'd like. And it's very helpful for matching for your brand. Now that you have the header and the colors updated, you can go over to this top line, and if you just delete what's there, it should pre-populate with how you named your form. But if you want it to show up as a shorter name in Google Drive, you can just shorten it, and I did that. Next, we're going to click on responses in the upper middle, and then we'll go to where it says linked sheets, and then select the 3 dots, and then you will create a form from there and make sure you have accepting responses on. So create new spreadsheet, or if you already have a spreadsheet pre-existing, you can link it to that. That's one of the reasons why I love Google Forms, is because you can automatically have the responses generate in real time with a timestamp on a spreadsheet. So it'll show you all of the answers as you put them in. And so they changed this around the time that I recorded this video, so it has that purple kind of highlighted color. You can customize how that appears. You don't have to change it, but I just wanted to show you that for a moment, and then we'll set up the rest of the form. So we'll go to settings in the upper middle. I do not have collect email addresses checked, but if you want to, you can. Again, that's up to you. Then you want to set up the rest of them. So allow response editing, I do. Require sign in, no. If you want to limit it to one response, though, you do have to require them, and I like to show a progress bar, especially if there are a lot of questions on the form. If it's a quiz, you might want to use shuffle question order, and then I do a confirmation message. So that can be as long or as short as you need it to be. Maybe putting the next steps in the process, if you need to link a payment form there. Of course, thank them for their business or for reaching out to you, so that you can provide that higher level of customer service. And once you type it and you're satisfied with it, then you select save, and you'll have your confirmation message. And if you'll want to have the submit form response, like as soon as that one is submitted, the next one is clear, you can go ahead and toggle that on. Now that the responses and settings are done, I like to preview the actual form before I publish it, just to make sure everything looks good. And you do that by selecting the eyeball on the upper right, and then you just scroll down, and that actually is how it looks for the clients. So once that looks good, you'll want to actually publish that. Since I am a one-woman team, I always want to make sure that I'm testing my links. So I'm going to send it to myself, and then I'll show you how it actually looks when the client's filling it out, which is a little bit different than the making sure that everything's okay. So you click on send, and then the link, and you can shorten the URL, copy that, and send it to yourself. So I sent it to my email, and then what I'll do is open up on my phone and show you how it looks on my phone. Okay, so this is the client view in real time once they put the link in and they actually fill out the form. So we're going to go ahead and copy and paste it into the Google search bar, because you can test it that way as well. You don't have to email it to yourself. So I'm just scrolling down, and then I'm actually going to input the information, and you'll see that I also submit it, and then I will show you actually what the response looks like as well. Okay, now we are back as the business, and we're looking at our responses. So now you'll see the form and the spreadsheet side by side. So now the form actually has the client's information. So again, you can always customize the way that the Google Sheet looks. Right now, we're not doing that in this video, but if this was helpful for you to create a client intake form, please save and share, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.